Hello friends, welcome back to the Mothership. Today we're going to be cooking up some honey barbecue rubbed buffalo chicken lollipops. Let's get started. Our first step in creating our lollipops is just to trim them down. This is kind of the end result that we're looking for. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick a spot on the chicken drumstick, about maybe halfway down the bone, and we're going to cut around the edge of it like so. The goal being to have the nice presentation. This is all presentation. There's nothing that's going to increase the flavor or quality of your cook. We're just trying to make them look pretty. It's a little bit of a pain, but it's not so bad. Once we get all the way around here, once we've cut all the way around, kind of just want to shape it into a nice little ball. Move any of the other extra crud that's on the bone here, which I will get, and just going to continue with the rest of them. Now that we've trimmed up our lollipops, the next step I just want to do is throw these into a wet brine for a while. I found that a wet brine really is important when you're doing chicken on the smoker, because that salt into the meat helps it retain moisture and not completely dry out. So I'll have the instructions below, but water, kosher salt, brown sugar, 2 garlic cloves, which I will just roughly smash and toss in there. Give it a nice whisk together to get everything nice and dissolved. And then we're just going to completely submerge all of our lollipops here. You can do this overnight. I suppose you could do this for maybe an hour or two. I'm going to do it for about 5 to 6 hours, I think would be a perfect amount. Now that they're submerged, I'm just going to put them in the fridge and let the wet brine do its thing. Our lollipops have finished their wet brine. The first thing you want to do when you take them out of the liquid is to rinse them off. Rinse them off completely and then rinse them off again. You want to get all this wet brine off of there, because otherwise you're just going to have a whole bunch of salt and it's going to be pretty terrible. So I am doing a light coating of olive oil, and then I'm using my honey barbecue dry rub. You can use whatever you want, but it's worth knowing that what you choose should have no extra salt added. This wet brine is going to be plenty salty enough. The the buffalo sauce is going to have a certain amount of salt to it as well, and we don't want this to be an overly salty meal. So let's get these all just dry rubbed down, put it back in the fridge on a wire rack, uncovered. Our smoker is up to 225 degrees. As you can see, I put tinfoil on the end of these. It's not necessary. It's more for presentation. And then I also have a lollipop rack. You don't need one, but it also helps them smoke a little bit more evenly. You can also see I have some red potatoes on there. I'm just trying something new. We're going to cook these for between an hour to 2 hours. I'm not entirely sure how long it's going to take. I'm guessing somewhere about an hour and a half will probably be good. Since we're doing drum meat, you really can cook this over 160 degrees. So probably going to go to about 170, and I will begin basting with our hot sauce probably around 150. Our chicken is coming up to temp, so now it is time to make our buffalo sauce. First step is to melt our butter. Melted butter. Now we're just simply going to go in with our Worcestershire sauce, apple cider vinegar, and our hot sauce, and then our dry spices. Whisk it together. The point at this point is really to not really cook it anymore. I kind of just want to mix it up, make sure it's a good consistency. Then I'm going to pull it from the heat, and we're going to use this to baste and maybe as a little bit of a dipping sauce. Our chicken has been running for about an hour and a half at this point. Internal temperature is around 135 on these suckers. I'm going to bump it up to 250, and then I'm going to start painting them down every 10-15 minutes with our buffalo sauce. So these lollipops took a lot longer than I honestly expected. I was thinking about 2 hours, but starting them at 225 and then bumping to 250, they took almost 3 hours to do. If you went 250 the entire time, or you bumped it past 225 to 250 earlier than I did, you'll probably get faster results. But from where it stands, I did 225 for an hour and then 2 hours at 250. And I have to say they do look fantastic. They actually have a nice crisp on them, so that butter crisped up pretty well. And it's basically just a buffalo sauce, which is butter and hot sauce. So I'm really looking forward to trying these things, and I'm starving. So let's give it the old chomp. The flavors on this mixture that we have here are pretty complex, guys. You've got the honey flavor of the chicken, and then the buffalo sauce adds a nice level of crispiness to it because we let it sit on there so long. This is a really good cook, guys. And the presentation is just absolutely beautiful. I mean, look what we're working with here. I can't complain about that at all. I'm excited to eat the rest of these guys. You should give this cook a try. This might be added to our weekly rotation, to be completely honest. This is really good. Guys, thank you for joining me. A like, a subscription would be fantastic if you got anything out of this. If you have any thoughts on how to do things differently, or how do you like to do your lollipop chicken? Do you even lollipop them? Is it worth it? Should you just let the whole drum, let it fly? Leave me a comment below, guys. Take it easy. Cook something fantastic.